Black vs. White cracking the IQ code.
And this is why, again, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I've cracked the code to how the Europeans were able to dominate and conquer the world. And it's not about IQ, and it's actually about the human organism's ability to adapt and the necessities of that adaptation for the climate in which these human beings are coming from. And I'm talking not just Europe, I'm talking about Africa, I'm talking about the Middle East, I'm talking about over here in the West, before we had the Creature Conference of climate controlled living situations. So allow us to continue to listen to him. We'll address the point on Africa as well coming up, and I'll show you why African nations are still suffering today, not just because they aren't able to get their things together and develop, but because of outside influence, sanctions, reparations paid to the former colonial people who came in and conquered them. These are the reasons. So allow us to dive back into what Candace and Nick are talking about. And again, like I said before, we'll expose this individual for the race hustle.
I don't think I agree with that.
What about all of Africa then? There's not one country in sub-Saharan Africa that's successful. Not one. They're all least developed countries. They're all failed states.
This kind of reminds me, and we could kind of flesh out this conversation together, and I'm not perhaps ready to have it fully, but I do remember going back to Dave Smith where he was conceding a point on, well, all of these other Middle Eastern countries, no, you wouldn't want to live there. You'd want to live in Israel. In my mind, I'm going, well, because you just keep bombing the crap out of them if they ever try to get ahead. I remember watching this clip of him saying that, going, why don't these countries get ahead? And kind of going back in my mind to the Gaddafi speech where he was speaking essentially about, here's what we got to do in Libya to get ahead. Here's what we're going to do with the dollar, and we're going to be progressive and this and that. And they killed him. And then what happened to those Libyan refugees? Suddenly they're now pouring into, just like he said was going to happen, that they were now pouring into the European continent, and Europeans are complaining, who are these people? And so the question is, are we allowing, because I'm like, Africa is a pretty rich country.